Hey guys, John Loxley here, back with our blind playthrough of Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. So I was thinking a bit more, obviously I'm recording this pretty much immediately after quitting that previous last episode. As far as establishing that we have to die, I think it was the whole thing about, as we're climbing that little mountain, or the steps, like how we retrieve one soul, Dillian's soul, and it's like, oh, well, we could offer ourselves as an exchange, right? So I guess that goes to reason, but from what I understand, you never really die, right? You're just kind of set aside until Ragnarok. Right, like all the warriors chosen by Valkyries go to a mead hall. I don't know where everyone else goes. Into the ground, maybe, but they're gonna get back up again. So who knows? Excuse me. I'm still carrying a little bit of the resentment, I suppose, from, because I'm just like, you know, and then, I don't know. The visuals are great. I will point these out, right? These visuals look amazing. Also, she's not the same. We're using an earlier model. Somehow, she still has the arm print, but she doesn't have the cut right here anymore. I don't know why. I feel like I would wager it ends with us going through here, fighting Hela, maybe a couple part battle, right? And then trying to do some emotional thing after we do the combat, right? And it's just, yeah. And then for even better measure, all the live action people show up again, right? And just ruin it. Like, I understand what they're trying to go for, but the live action is so, it just jarring. Also, the runes are around this thing. Oh, we missed a couple. Don't even tell me that there's multiple endings. Oh, you didn't get all the runes, so you don't get to see the best ending. I'm just gonna lose my mind if that happens. Is that Dillian? Oh. They burned her?
Do you see it, Senua? Do you see the darkness? Faces of fear and suffering.
I thought she killed herself.
I remember it clearly now.
She has nothing to fear anymore. The gods have saved your mother. Through my hand.
Oh, that's the father.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did this to her! Why?
Why the F word?
It's when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside. Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come for you too. You understand, Senua?
I do understand. You cursed me with your own madness. I was just a child. You created this darkness! You created this darkness so you could hide behind it!
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
It's what Mother Teresa believed.
It was all a lie. You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you. And so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You tortured her. You killed her. You are the darkness.
Okay, just let me pause real fast before I forget. The F-bomb, F the gods. Bad choice. It is modern language, and it kind of... Hey there, Manny. Do you want to get back in my lap? Don't step on the keyboard, please. It's language not appropriate to the game, right? I understand she's mad, but dropping an F-bomb... Come on, are you going to show your butt to the camera a little bit? Okay. I mean, there's better ways to do it. There's better ways to do it. You know? And honestly, so we've had a revelation as well that the father killed the mother. And the implication is that the father, maybe the mother was never crazy or had mental illness. Maybe Senua didn't have it until her father was a tyrant or whatever and killed the mom for being disobedient or whatever. We still don't know. And that drove Senua kind of crazy. And then he tried like torturing her and sticking her in the hole. It's kind of the like the Binding of Isaac thing, the game. I mean, not the actual biblical story. The like, you're full of sin, so I'm gonna torture you because you're a sinner or whatever, you know, like that sort of thing. The most evil people are the ones that hide behind their religion in the name of doing good, right? So I just don't... I don't care about this development. It doesn't fit with the story, right? It just doesn't. The story is about... The story should, in my mind, be about Senua, who may or may not have mental illness, It's possible she's crazy. It's possible she's delusional. It's possible this is all in her head. Or it's possible this is an actual journey and she has some sort of psychic link to the gods. The gods are real. Whatever. You know. Regardless, she's trying to rescue Dillion. And then we get to the end of the game. It's like, no, no, no. Your dad's an asshole. Your dad killed your mom. It's like, that's... It's about her and Dillion, not about... I mean, you could kind of say that her relationship with her father and him being an asshole is what drove her to Dillion in the first place. But I don't know, it just feels irrelevant to me. And then like, you know, she pulled the sword out again, and then Hela is over there, and it's like, feel emotion, now go into combat. It's like, can we breathe a little bit? Can we experience these things the way they're supposed to, you know? So I don't know. I'm just, let's keep going, I guess. We'll see what happens. Also, more live action stuff. Why? You don't need it. It just changes. You spend all this time creating like wonderful graphics, you know, and then you shove in a real person, and it's like, oh, a real person. It just takes me out of it. So, yeah, let's keep going. See, like, this is cool as hell. And then I don't understand why we're... Like, what does this have to do with fighting Hela? And at first I thought she was talking about, like, because Hela's right there, right? And she's like, she disobeyed you. And I'm like, she disobeyed Hela? Oh, you're talking about the dad. Okay. Like, what does this have to do with Hela? Is it going to be like, oh, yes, your father was a disciple of me. He's supposed to sow discord among your people, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, what? All right, well, I guess we're running. Okay, I mean... All right. All right.
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you. It was the only way to fight the curse within you.
Oh, there's the...
The darkness is inside you and it will destroy you.
You're a liar!
No, Senua. The darkness is here. You cannot wish it away. And it will watch as you draw your last dying gasp.
I won't let you kill me.
So, the darkness... Oh, great. And we're more regular dumb combat. So the voice of the darkness was her father's voice. Okay. Okay. When she's looking at herself in the mirror and the darkness... Like, because it's her voice. I get it. Children are kind of like wind-up toys in a weird... This is going to sound really weird, right? In regards to abuse, you tell a kid something and wind them up and let them go, and they will reinforce it on their own. Which is kind of fucked. Which is why she's speaking into the mirror with her father's voice. I just feel like this is it's a different story now, right? And what does it have to do with what happened at the very beginning? where it's like her story's over now, but she can't rest, or it's not really over, or I don't freaking know, or she has to relive it again or something. You know what I mean? And then Hela is just like, oh hey, I'm gonna, more generic enemies, right? Let me take a drink. I poured myself the last of the tequila. I finished the coffee. Alcohol seemed like the next choice. Alright, let's do this. Is this when I have to focus?
Behind you.
Oh, you only have to hit him once? Oh, that was a weird, like... I mean, I understand this is supposed to be all epic and stuff, but... Oh, well, okay. Well, yeah.
Watch out.
Oh, how did... Oh, crap! Am I dead? Oh, good. Oh, wonderful. Alright, great.
Behind you.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but...
Careful, Senua.
I mean, I would love to be careful, but... Oh, good. I mean, and it's like, alright, she's just slaughtering the enemies now. I guess she's made her resolution. That she's not gonna let the darkness... But I just don't really care. I mean...
I can see through your darkness. You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
Oh, for crying out loud, another puzzle? Or do I just go... Oh, alright.
Look at you. Running forward and moving backwards to wallow in your miserable past. You're making a mistake searching.
Excuse me.
The same mistake that killed him in the first place.
Is it going to be revealed that the father was the one that killed Dillion as well? I guess we'll see. So presumably we're going to get onto this pedestal, we're going to get to the other side, and Hell's going to be like, ah, and blow up the bridge again, and then we're going to fight some more people. Right?
I'm trying to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie? The plague of darkness, the butchering of Dillion by the Norsemen. You saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed. They believed you. I believed you.
Senua. Where is Ilian's soul if the darkness is alive? How you saved him?
He's here. I know he's here.
I mean, that's
Dillian, I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
oh great, another beast. Wonderful. Am I dead? What is... Oh, is this Valravn? It's gonna change to boss rush mode. Oh, and Cert at the same time? Well, if... Also, the... I mean, I get this. I get it. This is supposed to be this powerful thing. She's fighting all the demons of her past. Oh my god, she's so strong. I don't care. I don't care. The combat is clunky. And honestly, it doesn't really...
Dillian! Where is he? You're trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Dillian is gone. Dillian is dead. Let him go now. I'm warning you.
Or what? What can he do to me that you haven't already? Fight me. Come on.
Okay. Like... So if you want a comparison, right? Is this an actual fight with Hela now? Okay. If you want a comparison with a better final boss deal, Psychonauts. It's a final level. It's using all of your abilities that you've gained previously and all your skills and everything. It's hard as fuck. But it's relevant to the story because of the symbolism in the level itself. Here, it's like a... Yeah, okay. I mean, it looks cool. But... I mean... We get here and then it's like, no, your true enemy is not Hela. It's your father, and you have to... I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure some people think this is amazing, presumably because it... I think a lot of people are just so... They're like, oh my god, something that actually addressed mental illness and stuff. And it's like, great. Great. But it's doing it... It started out doing it well, and now it's doing it poorly, in my mind. Now it's like, well, we need some epic conclusion for the game. I don't... Yeah, of course.
You betrayed your own father. You betrayed the gods in search of Dillian, in search of love. Look where that's got you. Let go of your battle. Let go of redemption. Let go of Dillion. Don't let your darkness hurt anyone else.
Okay, what's going on? Oh. And he's like, don't let the darkness hurt anyone else. Is... Oh, come on, man. Oh, well, okay, I didn't realize I had a focus, but alright, that works. And why is the ground shaking? Is it Hela?
Careful, Senua.
Oh my god. Just... Right, I'm super slow at the moment. But I assume that's because I got wounded? It's hard to say.
Let go of Dillion. Let go of your battle.
That's...
You're killing yourself.
That's great. I don't care. That's the problem, is, like... Oh my god, it's supposed to be so emotional. Here. Let's try something else, right? Oh, good. Achievement unlocked, the final battle. So we're supposed to die? Is that how it's supposed to work? I really... That's great and everything. Oh, her hair was going through the floor. Okay. I was like, what's going on? In a cutscene, no less. Oh, is that Dillion's head on the ground in front of her? Oh, and the sword.
You're alive. And there's no doubt. And you never took him from me, did you?
Well, then tell me what's going on.
And I can't save Dillion. me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a lie, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know he's here. I know you have him.
Okay. Can I just get some kind of resolution?
I'll give you my life. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be your slave for you.
Sorry, Manny, you're fine.
I'll fight with you at Ragnarok. If you release
Does Hela use the same model as Senua? Because the faces look very similar. They look more similar than her and the one that disappeared in the mirror, you know, at the end of the last episode.
But if you won't, you will have to kill me. Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. You will have no power over me.
Why is she looking at the camera? Are... Alright.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, Senua.
See?
Because a life without loss is one without love. You turn your back on death, and all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is darkness. When the time comes, you must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend. Only then can we let go of our fear. And emerge from our darkness.
Is this the whole thing, like this is the vision before she died or whatever, and then, oh, I was with you the whole time, and I... And where are we now? Like, is that actually his head? Is that actually Hela? Is she given the soul back? I mean, I know this is supposed to be emotional, but I just don't feel anything right now. And I know Hela's supposed to be, like, mouthing words and maybe crying and...
Forget what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day a new story. We too emerge from this magic, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea.
Okay. So Senua...
Do not mourn the waves, the leaves and the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there, waiting to be seen again.
So she's gonna jump. And there's the voices. Oh, it's going away.
This is where my story once began. And so it has to end here. Because I cannot see further than this.
Follow us. We have another story to tell.
My friend. Go with her.
I'm good, thanks.
This now will be your story to witness. Goodbye.
So is that Hela on the ground? Like Hela, she did kill Hela by accepting her own death? And that's the mouth of Helheim? Well, that explains the Hellblade 2 trailer they showed at E3, which I still haven't watched, but I saw clips of it. I'm like, that's not really it. It's like Senua or whoever chant, "Ooh, da, 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 ooh, da, da, da," and I'm just like, this, no. And then it's like Hellblade 2, and I'm like, okay. And then the lyrics are, I mean, the music is nice, but it's pretty on the nose. The world is an illusion, it's trying to change you. It's like, alright. I assume they wrote it specifically for the Furies, the voices maybe. Yeah, I remember in the earlier in this playthrough, I was like, I worried that Ninja Theory just put this in because the mental health stuff, because it's cool. And I kind of feel like that's the reason, right? I mean, the game is kind of a mess. I like what they were trying to do, what I think they were trying to do. But, and let's be honest, anything that does address or raise issues of mental illness and mental health can create a dialogue and a positive, a positive thing. Right? It can be a positive experience. Just bringing it up, like, hey, can we talk about this? But this was... So... What was the story of the game? I mean, that's a legitimate question. Because it starts with... It starts with her going on a journey to the underworld to save the soul of her lover. The description of the game says it's a vision quest. I don't think so if the body of Hela is right next to her when she wakes up. Also, I can practically guarantee this credits song that we just heard is going to get content ID'd. So, whatever. Yeah. And then she realizes some of the horrors of her past and all of our fans and supporters for making Hellblade possible. Was this wasn't Kickstarted, was it? I don't think so. I remember it was released for like $30. I have to pee really badly, Manny. It's all your fault. I don't know why it's his fault. It just is. And then she realizes some bad stuff happened to her in her past, and accept the fact that people die, and then... So the Hellblade feature, I guess, is all the cutscenes, presumably. The problem is the story. Like, that's as best as I can kind of condense it, right? She undertakes a quest to save the soul of her lover, and then accepts his death. I guess that's it. And it's too muddy for that. It's not... Like, that's the plot twist, is that instead of saving his soul, she accepts his death. Maybe. I don't know. So the thing about unreliable narrator stories is that typically the game or movie or whatever, the twist is that they're an unreliable narrator. They go through this adventure, and then at the end you find out it was all in their head, or it's not what their things aren't actually as they seem, or whatever. You were the bad guy the whole time, or you were doing the bad guy's plan, or whatever, or you were dead, or did I say it was all in your head? It's all in your head. That's the twist. Typically, it doesn't have to be that way. That's one narrative structure that you could do. You could make it about her trying to save the soul of her lover and then realizing that none of it's real, and she accepts Dillian's death. That's okay, but that's not what they were trying to do. I don't think. If they were, it's really muddy and it's really unclear, and I had to think about it. I'm like, wait, what's the story for this again? So it's, I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you were to ask me right now if I were to, recommend it or not, like that's what Steam is always asking me whenever I quit. It's like, do you recommend this game? Yes or no? I would probably say no. I'm not saying that I disliked it. I'd give it a meh. Because it tries to do something. Ninja Theory got out of their comfort zone, presumably. But it is not graceful at all. The visuals are good. The sound is good. The modeling for Senua was good. And I assume what happened was they're like, oh, we're going to make all these models and stuff like that. And then they realized that it would probably cost a lot or take more time than they had or something like that. And so they're like, you know what, we could do it cheaper with live action people and we'll shove them in there. And it's like that. There is the whole concept of art through adversity. That didn't work. The live action stuff did not work. The story is muddy, and I understand it's like, yes, it's mental illness or is confusing on purpose, but that requires a very delicate touch, and I don't think they have that, or at least I don't think they use that in this case. And then you can't even say, I mean, because she woke up and or when she drops Dillian's head, the body of Hela is right next to her. So it's like, did she actually go to hell and kill a god? And realize that she couldn't save Dillian and then, accept his death? It's like, what really happened? That's the thing. There is no reveal. We, as the viewer / player, we could probably puzzle some of it out, but it's, and to be fair, it might even all have been real in one way or another because she's going through the realms of the gods or whatever. Who knows? But I feel like we should be more informed. And also her looking at the camera, I'm like, are we supposed to be Dillian? Are we supposed to be Hela? Hela was not really... You could have Hela... I mean, they kind of... The problem is they rotated the camera around during the scene where Hela is standing there with the sword and Senua. It's like they need to be looking at each other so that those two characters, have an emotional connection. So she is begging Hela, not she is staring into the camera and looking at us. It's like, because we don't have an emotion. I mean, we have an emotional connection with Senua, but Senua is kind of our avatar. We are I want to say engaged. That's not the right word, but we want Senua to exceed. We are rooting for Senua. And then having her turn around and be begging the camera, which is us, it's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't know. I didn't dislike the game, but I really hate some of the things they tried to do to make it artsy and stuff. And, you know, and then like Hela picked up the sword and stabbed her, and then would she have died had she not accepted her death? Did Dillion save her at the end? Did she let Dillion go? I don't know. We don't actually need the answers to those questions. I mean, maybe. But considering the story is very muddy, I think they would help. I mean, I get it, right? They started with the story, and they're like, this is the story we're going to tell. These are the graphics, all that stuff. And then it's like, well, we don't want to make a walking simulator. So we'll make her, she's a warrior, let's throw some combat in there. And then, well, we can't have combat all the time. It gets boring and the combat's clunky. Let's throw in some puzzles. And that's the problem, is it feels like in pursuit of making a game, they sacrificed some of the story. What is that last... I don't know if you guys can see this. What is this last view achievements? I'm going to look at all of them now. View global achievements. Stories from the North. It doesn't tell me what it is because it's locked, but presumably it shows a runestone, and I assume it's get all the runestones. The final battle, confront Hela. 29.6% have gotten that. Stories from the North, 3%. Oh, wow. Yeah, reaching the gate for the first time is 88.4%, and then defeat Valravn or Cert is 48 point whatever, 48.7 or 48.2. So almost 90% of people that own the game get to the gate. And then half, you have a huge drop off right at the beginning. They get to the gate and then you get the choice and they're like, or whatever. I don't know. And then most of the people that defeat one or both, it's pretty consistent at about 40, and you lose some people, and then about 30 at the last. So, you know, once they make the commitment by beating certs and whatever, then it's pretty quick to get to the end, I guess. But that's Hellblade. That's Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. I have mixed feelings about it. There are parts that I liked, there are parts that I didn't like. The whole sequel hook at the end, it's like, my journey's not over, follow my next story. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't really care. I know that's terrible. It's probably terrible to say, but this might be an insult. Right, so the game was $30. Half of a AAA half of a normal AAA thing. It was published by Ninja Theory, not developed by Ninja Theory and then published by EA or something like that. They didn't have a big budget publisher. They did it themselves. And it, for what it's worth, it does feel like a AAA title. But it also kind of feels like half of a AAA title. Just the clunkiness and stuff, it just feels like it. Although, to be fair though, when it was released, it only had one major bug that was game breaking. And apparently they patched that in like a month. So, which actually might be the reason that the completion rate drops off sharply, because the people hit the bug and then they're like, all right, well, I have other stuff to play, you know? Who knows? But yeah, I have no desire to go back through, and I might want to just because get that last achievement, but get all the runes and stuff, like that would not necessarily be enjoyable to do. I wish you could just turn the combat off. Just turn off the combat and the puzzles and just run through. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. I really hope, even though I'm, complaining about the game a lot, I really hope you enjoyed these videos. The game, like I said, I'm mixed on it. It does have flaws, but it does have a lot of good to it as well. And obviously, even though I'm complaining a lot, part of the reason that I'm doing it is because I'm emotionally invested in it. Right, I wanted it to do well, and then for it to stumble and fall on its face and have its face go into cow poop or something like that at the end, for it to finish in a very unappealing fashion, ungraceful fashion, I think is a real shame. But I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I do hope to see you guys next time. What is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, I'm not going to say the game. Normally when I finish, I'm going to say the game. I have to pick you up, Manny, because you're heavy. I actually was playing with this Retro Arch. It's the emulator that does everything, apparently, all the different systems and stuff. And so I was just kind of playing around with it. I wasn't doing anything super specific or anything. Didn't even, I tested some games, didn't play any, but I started a couple and I'm like, oh, okay. But that's my unique positive moment. Hopefully your guys is just as good, if not better. Hopefully better. And I hope to see you guys next time. I don't know what I'm playing next, but I have some ideas. So we'll figure this out. Anyway, until then, take care.